Hello, everybody. So I'm going to give my reaction to the video. I forgot her name, but I follow her on YouTube. Her YouTube channel will be down below in the description. And I want to give my reaction and my input and advice towards Cardi B forcing the Miami nightclub to let black women in. And as you see, I am a dark skinned black woman myself. I have experienced a few discriminations, um, like while going to clubs and here and there, but not like excessively. But I have experienced that, and it's very disappointing. And for my experience, I never forced myself or begged to get inside these establishments. Okay, so my teeth might show up like a little dark because it's the green screen. See? Yeah. But so let me play this video and I'm gonna give my honest reactions, my advice. This video right here, I did see a little bit of it, and she does state good points on what black women should do. And I agree with her 100%, but let's watch the video. I was upset about this because you would think, we in 2021, even though black people have um a little more lenience and just doing what we got to do as black people, money, doing what we got to do, we're still living in a messed up system. And and I feel like it's falling off into the minds of those who are supposed to protect us. I feel like they should protect us, especially the black men. Like, it's, that's another topic I'm gonna talk about, divesting. But let's get into this video because, yeah, my streaming might be moving slow. I don't know. It's been raining a lot in the Bronx. I live in the Bronx, near the zoo. So I'm kind of going through a lot of service troubles right now. Um, let's play this video. Hope it plays. Yep, my streaming is like not it.
If you didn't know, Cardi B pulled up to a strip club last night in Miami with her husband, Offset. As she was walking in, a group of black women were standing outside saying, Cardi B, they're not letting the black women in. And Cardi B began to go back and forth with the bouncers and say, let the black women in. So I'm going to show you two different angles of this altercation and come back with the rest of my comments.
They're not even letting the sisters in tonight. They're not even letting the sisters in. At the front door. They all be all white girls. No black women. My husband played football here and he let us in. We couldn't even buy a table. That's how they do it. They're not letting black women. None.
I can let some black women in here. Let the black women in here.
Yeah. No, they don't. Cardi. No, they don't.
Now let them in.
Let them in. Let them in. Hey, 1, 2, 3. Hey, Cardi. 1, 2, 3. Let's fire. 1, 2, 3. I got you a bottle.
Okay. So let me stop sharing. So my thing is, as black women, if you're not being let in to an establishment, why beg? Why preach to let yourself in? I like my mindset, I never want to spend my money where I'm not accepted, where I'm not wanted. And I'm happy that Cardi B, was like, look, I'm not going to perform. Muffin, cut it out. So hold on, y'all. Let me, cause my puppy, she bugging out. She knocking over the camera and shit. Hold on. Let me. Yeah, so in this case of what's going on with the situation of black women not being let in to this Miami nightclub is giving desperate vibes from the black women. I know it's fucked up that we not being let into certain establishments. I know. But what we shouldn't do, we should not beg. We need to be in the mentality of our ancestors. Well, from my experience, because I don't know, some or a few of you may know that I am adopted. I was in foster care, and the woman who adopted me, she was a 40s baby. She recently passed away. My mother, she recently passed away in 2018. So she experienced the racism, segregation. She was born in the 40s. And one thing I noticed about her, she never begged. And she always told me, try to do what I have to do as a woman. Have a spirit of discernment. Of course, I went through a lot of my own trauma because, like I stated again, I was in foster care. So, with my mindset at the time of me being young, I felt like, okay, my parents didn't love me. I was invaluable. And it didn't help with media because there wasn't no social media as in like the computer and stuff like that yet. All we had was the television. So the TV media portrayed things as in like we shouldn't love our natural selves as black women. I just started to become in tune with myself and love myself and understand my power and who I am and why Black people are hated so much, especially the Black woman. Don't get me wrong, I am open to all races and cultures, to those who understand Black people, to those who aren't, for humanity as a whole to be at peace and love. I don't respect those people and I try to stay far away from them as possible. Sometimes we have to learn how to maneuver around them. But one thing I do know, I do demand respect because I give respect. So my advice to Black women, and I just turned, well, I should have said I just turned 30 because my birthday's next month. But this year went by so fast, y'all. Like, I'm 30 years old and I have to have gone through a lot of trauma, pain to get to where I'm at. And I know I have a lot more learning to do because I don't have all the answers. But I do know that I am here for a purpose, just like we are all here for a purpose. Some people purpose is more demonic, I should say. Some people purpose is more divine. And we're living in times where it's very dark. And we have to still see the light at the end of the tunnel through darkness. I am not placed in such religion, but I am a spiritual person and I do believe in positive and negative energies. I do believe in good and bad. The yin and the yang is all about the balance because nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. But I feel that us as a humanity, we have to try to love each other. First, loving ourselves. That's most important, is loving yourselves, because people try to love other things besides themselves. And that's just already a setup for self-destruction, self-sabotage. And with this Cardi B video of her demanding, forcing Miami nightclub to let Black women in, I feel like I would have respected her more if she was like, look, I'm not coming in and I'm not performing at all. But people are so focused on the money. Money is the root to all evil. We all know this. Some people seem like they forget. And this is what we call attachment to the material world. Not trying to say we shouldn't have our things together and make sure that we are comfortable. I'm saying that some people get so attached to their material world that they forget when it's time to pass on, you're not going to take all of this with you. What is your legacy? Of course, to take care of your kids. Don't get me wrong, make sure your kids are straight, but you also have to give back and make sure, you know, hold on, let me show y'all a video because I really believe like when clubs do shit like that, people need a boycott. But of course, I don't expect, you know, other races to boycott like that. But Black women, because you know, Black people love spending their money like crazy. There's a video on YouTube talking about how to make a Black person spend money at a store. Some customer service video. It's an old video. And they really show like this is how you can swindle money, get more money out of a Black person while they're shopping. Because Black people are so attached to the material world and they feel like they always have to prove themselves by what they wear, what they have, that gives them value. This is what this video says. No, not that one. I don't know if y'all can see that. Hold on, let me share this screen real quick because seriously, we need to have this mentality again. This mentality of our ancestors when remember, because the clubs are just like this. What is it? And I've noticed it was a lot of the black bouncers, securities, whatever, not letting people in. Sometimes they're being told to do that, but sometimes they're not. Sometimes the owner can be black. And like, look, because there's a colorism shit involved. I'm telling y'all. And I had to cry. Like, I didn't want to cry, but I ended up crying earlier because this is what came to my mind. All of this again. This is what came to my mind. You see how all the black people in the back of the bus and the white folks in front of the bus? Well, colorism, it seems like when it comes to these nightclubs, they want white women, exotical women that look, I guess biracial, multicultural, these type of women are allowed in or appreciated, especially by the black men, because it rubbed off on some of the black men. I'm gonna say some because I don't want people to get offended, but I can say a collective of black men are colorists, misogynistic, all of that. And the darker you are, and if you have features that thicker nose, thicker lips, you are considered not desirable, and that's messed up. I remember having a white woman random walk up to me, like this was like a few years ago in the city, and she asked me what tribe am I from. And I'm like, what tribe? This is when I was like I would say 24. And she said, you got to find out your family history, what's your tribe, because you don't look like you're fully African. It's like you're from a native tribe. Y'all, I didn't even know what she was talking about. I was like, what, huh? And she was like, your nose, your cheekbones. Like, she was going in. Because I do believe some of us, you can even look this up for yourselves, some of us black people were already here. Our ancestors were already here. In history, they try to make it seem like most of us came from off the ships. Some of us haven't. Some of us already been here. Some of us can trace our ancestry back, of course, to Africa, but to the natives that were already on the land. Before the colonists came, the settlement and all that, and took over and wiped them out and killed them with the Trail of Tears. It's horrible. And that's not even a full story on that. I want someone, maybe I should do it, but that's going to be a lot of research and a lot of my time. And maybe I should start really digging deeper. But sometimes I feel like when you research so much, you go down to this dark rabbit hole and you realize like, wow, this country is not what it all seems to be. Is it false promises? Because that's what I'm seeing. The older I get, the more I'm studying. Even though my mom, she was a very wise woman my mom who adopted me, she was a very wise woman. And she had a lot of books, and she still has a lot of books. Like after she passed away, me and my siblings, we still haven't got the chance to fully clean everything. But she had a lot of books. She knew how to read Hebrew. She had books. She was open to other dimensions, as in like learning about it. And I feel like she really didn't get to fully understand who she was and how powerful she was completely until towards the end of her life. Some of us learn faster on certain information and some of us don't. Not trying to say it's a problem, but it was destined, because I feel like if my mom didn't go through what she was going through, my adopted mom, if she didn't go through what she was going through, I wouldn't learn certain things about myself. And the same thing goes to my biological mom. My biological mom, she went through a lot too. It caused her to resort to drug abuse. And I'm trying not to get too much into that because it's going to make me feel emotional. So it causes me to get like this, and a little, down. I'm gonna try not to cry on live, but I want y'all to know that no matter where you come from, especially to my black women, and to whoever who's watching this, who, if you're not black and you're going through something similar, just know it gets better. Believe, don't give up on yourself. Just because you're not seeing a certain result fast enough, just know things will get better. Be strong. Have a discernment, meaning follow your intuition. Listen to that voice that's telling you, this is not right. I should maybe leave this area. This is not right. I should probably not be this person's friend. This doesn't feel right to me. I should leave this relationship. Observe, be aware, open your third eye. If not your third eye, then open your both eyes. Listen to yourself, listen to your spirit, because that's spirit talking to you. And with this right here, it just reminds me of, especially, you know, because from my experience, y'all, let me go back to from my experience, um, how do I put myself back on? There we go. Yeah, from my experience, y'all, I didn't have to go through, maybe because I didn't go down south yet. I do have biological family who lives down south. I haven't experienced the extreme racism of like, no, you can't be let in because you're black by white people. I haven't experienced that yet. But living in New York City, like I stated, I haven't experienced that. Like certain clubs I go to in the city that's owned by white people, I haven't had a hard time. They let me in. From my experience, I feel like I get treated better in certain establishments that's owned by white folks. I don't know, maybe because some people would say, especially some black people would say it's because of my features. Right now, this is less makeup, but because of my features is why I'm let in. But I don't know, because this is whole thing called pretty privilege or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. But when it comes to certain other clubs that were owned by black folks, it was more of a colorism thing going on. Let me see. My thing moving so slow. What's going on? Let me see if I can I feel like it goes slow one time on here. Mm. Okay. Okay, so what's going on? Mute mic? No. Let me add that back on. Open this. I'm still trying to figure out StreamYard, yo. Don't don't laugh at me, y'all. I'm still trying to get the hang of it. Um, so hearing that Cardi B situation, this is what it brings me back to, but in just a modern way. Okay. Let me see if I can. I feel like we have to have the mentality of where they at? That's another story. We need to be in the mentality of this. Our ancestors back in the day boycotted the bus in Montgomery over a year, and they stopped spending their money. Let me see. Where can I? Okay, I'm gonna have to share screen again. Share screen, and yeah. So they stopped spending their money. Sit right here. No, that ain't it. I need to be more organized, y'all. I'm sorry. So this right here, right? So this right here, the 381 days, the Montgomery bus boycott story, right? We need to be back in this mentality as Black people. If not, especially us Black women, when it comes to these clubs, you need to boycott. Like I stated, I would respect Cardi B even more if she was like, look, y'all not letting the Black sisters in. All right, I'm not performing. Come on, ladies, let's go. Perform somewhere else. I know she already got her plans there for that club, or maybe she already made her money. So I know it's easier said than done. But I would have respected her more if, even if she didn't do it. Come on, black women. Don't beg to get into establishment. Just don't spend your money. Do not spend your money. Because eventually she did help Black women to get into this establishment. She performed because she stated, look, I'm not going to perform until y'all let the Black women in. So that's what they did. But I feel like we need to fight for ourselves. We really do need to fight for ourselves. It's good to have other people help us on the side, but we need more. It needs to be more pressure. More pressure. Like hit them where it hurts. And that's like our ancestors did with that boycott in Montgomery for the bus. Over a year, they didn't take the bus. And since they didn't take the bus for over a year, it went from 381 days, is possibly more. I heard it was more. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but allegedly it was more. And they started to realize that the money is, how can I say it? Black people got the money. I don't know how. I don't know. We busting our ass. We know how to make something. out of nothing. You know, you can look at the Great Depression back in 1920, 1929. I believe it's 1929. We weren't hearing so much of suicides from Black people back in the Great Depression because we were used to making something out of nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So when it comes to these certain establishments, if you're experiencing racism, I really believe Black people need to stop going to these businesses. You know, I'm not for so much of like pro Black and all that, and because it's not the same in today's era. Back then, may be different, but today's era is very different because the pro Black community to me, from my experience growing up, they didn't help me much. I felt like they didn't listen to me. So that's my own experience. Everybody has their own experience. But like I stated, you need to boycott. You see how they did this back in the day, and it made a difference. It made a huge difference. It made a huge difference. So, so it went from that boycotting to, hold on. It went from that boycotting to this. Y'all see the difference? You see the Black people in the front, white people right here. It's like how it is today. Okay. So for us to see results, we need to hit them where it hurts, and that's economically. But I feel like Black people have so much of their own issues going on, and there's already enough YouTube content that's already addressing that. So I don't want to add on to that because I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy because instead of there being a solution, there's always argument, a debate. There's always argument and a debate when it comes to, unity. And it's weird. Like, I know because there's so much, oh, because y'all did this, y'all did that. Okay, it's already done. What is it that we need to do? But then they say you can't go on with the future unless you heal from the past. So what's the solution to healing? To me, it's therapy. I've been going to therapy since I was 19 years old. And to me, it has really saved my life. I feel like people won't get it together until they get help for their own internal issues. Because I'm not begging nobody to get into no establishment. I am not. And this is where it has come to. What happened to the fight? Like, it seemed like people just so lazy, be so like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if some Black people just became so com- so complacent with their lives and just being at the bottom. Like, what the fuck? Excuse my language, but dang. Like, come on. We gotta do better. We gotta do better because I'm not going to argue my way into getting to a no establishment. I am not preaching. I'm not let me in, let us in. I'm not doing that. I'm not because I'd rather not spend my money in a establishment that don't value me. So I don't know. And that's my advice on it for the black women. Like, look, don't be doing that. Like, if you add a location and you realize they're not letting you in or they treating you a certain way, basically discriminating. And it's sad because discrimination can happen against your own culture. You know what I'm saying? And I know this is not only happening in America, this happening in other cultures too. And I would like to hear from anybody that is also going through this similar thing when it comes to skin tone, when it comes to race in other countries. I feel like the best thing that has ever happened to us when it comes to social media, we get to see that all of us around the world are going through something similar. Then you put two and two together and then you realize there's an agenda going on that has affected the world collectively. Like, really think about it and understand there is an agenda. Why is being black hated so much? And you have to understand character is very important, personality. I have had some people tell me, like, oh, you sound white. No, not white people, but my own black people tell me I sound white. What? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I feel like that's disrespecting themselves. Like, why would you tell another black person that they sound white? That's a disservice to you. Because I'm speaking affectionate, I'm talking like it's crazy. It's all part of the programming. But that's another topic because I don't want to get into programming in the matrix and things like this because it gets too esoteric and then people is not going to get it. But hopefully, like, I'll put out more videos where I can break it down. But like I stated before, I do appreciate Cardi B. Like, look, if y'all not letting them in, I'm not performing. Cool. But sis, what if they didn't let them in? Would you still perform? That's the thing. And even, not even that, but like, yo, soon as I hear that an establishment does that, I wouldn't want to perform. But then again, like I stated before, I don't know what her contract is like. I don't know. Because, sometimes people already are paid to perform. So I believe that was her situation. So she couldn't really just turn it down. It'd have been a huge issue and things like that. Because money is already put into it. But I mean, if I feel like if you're gonna stand for what you believe in, you would do it at what cost. It doesn't matter. Look at Rosa Parks. She didn't get up when she was sitting in the front of the bus, and look, she went to jail. So certain shit we gonna have to do to apply pressure, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable for the moment. And even if, some people, I don't want to bring up Sandra Bland, but her death still doesn't sit right either. And we all know that her death doesn't make any sense. And you see how that is kind of swept under the rug quickly. But it's a wake up call, especially for us. We need to wake up. We need to wake up and understand that, look, if you're not going to let me into this club, then I am not going to spend my money. I'm not going to beg to get into this establishment. I look silly to want to beg to get into your establishment. And once you let me in, I'm going to just party like nothing happened and still spend my money. Come on, make it make sense. It don't make no sense. Like I stated before, look up the video on when it comes to customer service. It's this old school video. I believe it's from the 70s or the 80s. What I'm gonna do is look it up on YouTube and put it up in the description. But it shows how they try to get money out of the black people to spend, spend, spend. Y'all have to be aware of that. Like I stated before, if establishment or wherever do not respect you, do not accept you, do not beg, do not get into these places and spend your money. Boycott. And that's what I wish Cardi B had done. Boycotted. Like, look, oh, y'all not letting black women into this nightclub? Oh, no, 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 I'm not performing. But like I stated again, and I'm gonna keep on saying, I don't know how her setup in her agreement was with this nightclub because she probably was already paid before. So I'm going to go and have a good night. That was my input, and and I hope you black women learn from this. I want all of us to grow. I want all of us to have the mindset and not feel like, like you standing on these lines or just anywhere, you feel like, damn, like, come on now. Like, we shouldn't have to accept that at all. It like racism is still going on, colorism. Now it's more colorism because it be our own people. It's like our own people against white supremacy and all of that. It's crazy. And when you really get to study your history and study who you are, you get to see why. Why? Okay? So everybody take care of yourselves and thank you for watching my live. I appreciate y'all so much. Take care. It's getting hot up in here. I need to turn off my heat. All right.